Hello guys. Yes, another hat. I'll tell you about that in a second. It is Tuesday. You know, I put on the camera yesterday to finish off last week's vlog, but I didn't start off this week's vlog like an idiot. Welcome to another weekly vlog. I have a new hat. If you're watching this, Suze, I don't know if I'm wearing this right. Should it be like this, or I think it should be like this. It's a little bow. I'm assuming this goes to the side. I don't wear hats very often, although my husband always says you should wear more hats. And Suze, girl you heard me talk about that had the baby recently, I did mention on the clothes off, I'm sure I did, I'll tell you again anyway. Pressing buttons here, this card does my head in. Suze sent me, she's a hairdresser, she sent me some really nice hair, like repair conditioner thing since I got my hair done. And a mascara that she really likes, and then the next day this hat popped up in the post and she said in the vlog she noticed I had a hat face. She says, like her. My husband always says I suit hats. I don't even like to say that because it makes me sound arrogant, but hat face. So she bought me the hat that's her favourite that she really likes, so I've got a new hat now. I do like hats. It's just not something I ever think to buy myself. This car is filled. Is that on? Please be on the outside. Yes, it is. That's alright. So yes, it's really warm and like it's like some type of wool. It says on the inside, and it's really warm and comfy. So that's awesome. And it's like a different colour with my, you know, because my hair's lighter now. It goes better with my hair. That's a shop falling over in the back seat. My mum's shopping. Just let's hope the big bottle of Fanta hasn't fallen on the loaf of bread, but you can guarantee that's exactly what's happened. There'll be a squished loaf of bread in the back of that car. Nothing I can do about it right now. So it's Tuesday, I'm on the way into my mum's. My dad has got some sort of really bad cold stroke flu. My mum's not great at the minute. It's just more of the same, folks. I feel like I'm boring you when I keep going on about the same stuff. So I'm going in, see if she wants to go out. I'm not sure she will because it is so cold. As a matter of fact, I'm really regretting. Oh, hang on. I was going to say I'm really regretting not bringing gloves, and then I remembered that I had gloves on in the car at another time. They're fingerless, their paws. So it's going to be really cold if she does want to go out. I must ask my dad if he had any. I haven't heard any results from his procedures he had done. Knowing my dad, he wouldn't have called up to get them, but surely if something showed up they would have notified him. But nobody's ever up in my mum and dad's house to answer the bloody phone. What else? I think, this is going to sound all kinds of weird, I think I'm in the midst of perimenopause. If you don't know, and most of you do know, 48, that's terrifying. I turned 48 in December. It's not good. So I may even be near menopausal age. I think that's like somewhere in your early 50s. Anyway, you hear a lot about it on TV now, and the side effects, which nobody previously spoke about. You know that everything dries up, great, like your skin, and you know, I've noticed this last probably 5 years, I've aged more than I did in the 20 years prior to it. I generally, like all through my 30s and my early 40s, I looked younger than I was. Most people told me I looked much younger than I was. But now I really see the age around my eyes. I've started to age. I've got this jowl thing. Well, if I've lost a bit of weight it might help, or it might emphasise, who knows. But with cold weather, any fibro sufferer will tell you, you're so sore. The thought of doing exercise is like, what? You know, I'm struggling at the minute. But anyway, the reason I think, and it's important to talk about this stuff and women don't, which is why I'm going to, It's something from Suze's vlogs I absolutely love. If you like vlogs, please follow Suze. I'll pop her channel in the description if I remember, but my memory is shot. It's called Aw Suze. I think it's got 2 W's. AWW space SUZE. Real nice girl. She's very candid in her vlogs. She's quite a bit younger than me. She's in her 30s. And she's just had her second baby. But she's very honest and she will give you full information about everything involved. And she had done a full birth story about both her children. She had her first child in the midst of the whole COVID thing, and it was a horrible experience. Really horrible. But, you know... who's that lovely dog? It's a lovely dog. Oh, sorry, I'm getting distracted. But what I love about Suze's vlogs is I don't want to use the expression warts and all, but it's honest. It's not a show reel. It's not... She will tell you when someone's upset her, when she's feeling down, when she's feeling upset, when she's feeling disappointed in herself. It's life, and that's what a vlog should be. It should be life. And mine isn't, and mine's me talking shite when I'm driving, because it's the only chance I get to film. With Suze, you get her at home, you get her with Dot, you get her with her new baby Bernie, you get all different types of things. She sings in a band, it's just really interesting. But I think people should talk more honestly if they do vlogs than try and make life look perfect. Anyway, I've started, and I don't know if it's the time of year, but I'm a very lucky person that I've never been prone to depression or anything like that. Yeah, we all feel low sometimes, but I've started to feel really anxious, really overwhelmed, and I don't know why. Feeling a bit low, like in bed last night, I was just feeling really low and really overwhelmed, and I don't know if it's because my parents aren't well and it's worrying about that starting off again, and I'm not sure, but it's a definite change mentally, and I felt myself growing more and more anxious, and apparently that can be part of perimenopause. You feel anxious, you feel stressed, you feel depressed. A lot of women say that they felt like they were going mad. I don't feel like that, but I definitely feel very anxious with no reason for it. So that's a bit concerning. I'll keep an eye on it. I'll tell you how it is and stuff. It's just, if you're a woman, and a few women watch this, and when you get to and you're all younger than me, apart from one I think's the same age as me. You will get to an age, and if you start to feel the same way, if someone else has spoken about it, then you say, I remember her saying that. So yeah, just a bit low, a bit stressed, a bit overwhelmed is the best way I can describe it. And I just get this feeling of, if I could, I wouldn't go anywhere, do anything, see anyone, talk to anyone, because I just don't want to. And that's not probably a good... I've always been antisocial, because I am quite awkward and shy, and I don't like to go outside my comfort zone, and it takes a long time for me to become comfortable with people and stuff like that. But I just find myself not wanting to go anywhere. I don't want to answer the door, I never answer the phone, and I don't know what's going on. Is it just my personality? I don't know. But yeah, I'll have to keep an eye on it and make sure it doesn't get any worse. And I don't have the option to do that because I'm in and out to my mum's a lot now, so I suppose that keeps me out and about and doing stuff, and maybe that's why I feel stressed and overwhelmed the rest of the time when I get downtime. Because I'm sure people think, Lisa, you do naff all, you don't do anything, but that's why you don't see me vlogging any other time, because I'm doing stuff. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on it, but I thought I'd share that with you today. We shall see. Got my wee hats. What's great about hats, like I say, I've got, my hair's thick, so I generally don't get cold heads, but what's great about hats is it hides the wrinkles on your forehead, which is awesome. My wrinkles are expression lines, that's my excuse. But what I never realised, and what you don't realise until you start vlogging or seeing yourself on video regularly, you don't realise your own facial expressions. And I raise my eyebrows constantly. I'm always raising my eyebrows at something. Darren's always found it hilarious. He'll always say, put your eyebrows down. But now that I'm vlogging, I can see it myself, and there's two really thick lines that go, you see, that go across my forehead when I raise my eyebrows, and they're really evident, and this hat hides them. So yeah, I won't probably check in with you later, guys, because it'll be dark. It is 2 degrees today. I'm freezing, but I've got my paws, my fingers out. I mean, what were they thinking? But then again, it's good that there's fingers out because you can like use your phone and stuff, can't you? Right, I did get those gloves that you have the end things that you can use. I just don't like it. I prefer my finger on my phone. I talk the biggest pile of crap, really. So I shall go, guys. I shall check in with you maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. Nothing really planned. Scouts is back on Friday. I never really know until the day whether I'm helping out at Scouts or whether I'm at my mum's, one or the other. So we shall see. I shall catch up with you guys later. Morning, folks. Well, that could confuse you into thinking it's actually quite a nice day. You can just about see some sun down there. It's not. Let's go down and have some brekkie. Hello, it is Saturday. I'm in my snuggie. I'm in the house. The dogs are thundering past. Right, you have to say this. Right, I'm trying to lose weight. Darren's just come in the house with this because it was half price in Tesco's. And a fucking cheesecake. Honestly, you may notice opened. Yes, I am going to have a slice of aforementioned chocolate cake that I should not be eating. You're not having any. There's a bath mat that needs to go in the bin, but the bin's full. Right. Let's have some of this. Hello. So, apologies about the light. I know it's not very good. My hair looks much duller now. So, I've just had my chocolate cake. I may shake... Where's Dobby? I may shake somewhat because I'm balancing my... I'm just holding it with my hand. I'm not good at doing that. So, I want to run something past yous. I really need to put this down somewhere because, Dobby, honestly, because I don't think there's anywhere bullet balance on a cushion. This is the sort of thing you should do, you know, before you start. Okay. If you've got purple fluff, I apologise. It's my cushion. You're balanced on it. It's a really unflattering angle. You can see all my chins. So, I've got my Snuggie on. I have currently got... I will keep looking to this side because my camera's upside down. I've got a thermal long sleeve top. I have a red... my warmest jumper that I own. And a Snuggie. And I'm freezing. So, I want to run something past you. Darren's just gone to drop Isaac off at a friend of his called Stephen. This is a lad that he's in the same class at a school. He actually met him years ago when he was in primary school. They used to do this thing in Northern Ireland. Everybody knows the situation, Protestants and Catholics, and if you don't, it's very boring. And what's important to people with half a brain in this country is that we get along together, that there's not like separation like has been in the past. So primary schools like to do cross-community projects where they partner them up. Like you see in certain towns, you know, towns are partnered with villages in other countries. They partner some schools here with schools in the opposite side of the community. And Isaac's primary school was partnered with a school called Camp Hill Primary School. And this wee lad actually went to that school. So he met him years ago. And it just now so happens that they go to the same secondary school. He only joined Isaac's class at the end of last year, the end of first year. He likes the same kind of music Isaac does, maybe a little bit more punk. He likes Green Day. I've said get him onto Backyard Babies quick. They're punk. I've recommended. He likes Green Day and Linkin Park. I can hear your ear pricking up. Kelly Kinney, Linkin Park, yes. I've said, have him listen to The Offspring. He will like them. So we shall see. Anyway, he's there for the day. It's the first time he's been. He's gone for the day. And as expected, he lives in a big posh house. He doesn't live in this area. He lives in town. They've got two big golden retrievers, Labradors, which I love. I haven't met like his parents or the doggies or anything. I just, he told me that he had two dogs. So anyway, not that I want to run past you where Isaac's gone, but that's where he's gone. So Isaac came out of Scouts last night really frustrated. They had practice for a cooking competition that they do once a year. I actually supervised it last year. If you've been watching my vlogs, you may remember this outdoor cooking thing that I maybe put some footage in of. So, yeah, they were doing practice for this thing last night. Now, Isaac is patrol leader. In his patrol, you will know two of these names. There's a wee lad called Miho. That's Irish for Michael. There's another wee lad that I can't remember his name. There's Reuben and there's Robert. Robert is the lad that we gave the lift for 1.5 years to Scouts, him. Reuben is the one that's really badly behaved, that Isaac was friends with, that he ended up not going back to his house because we found out Reuben had been hitting him every time, that one. So you'll have heard me talk about it. Basically both these lads' behaviour is bad. They both go to the other school, not the same school as Isaac. A lot more is tolerated at that school. It's not a particularly good school. Example of, the sort of thing that really irks me off. We, in the past, took Robert and Reuben both out trick-or-treating. Darren walked them around multiple years because they had no other friends. Robert's mum, sort of like when she was my mum's carer, came to me and more or less, this was in the last year of primary school, told me how badly Robert was being bullied and more or less asked me to ask Isaac to take him under his wing and, and we did, and we had him everywhere and sundry. You do remember probably. Until Robert started being really rude, really obnoxious, just really hacking us off, and we kept biting our lip all the time. Eventually it got to the point where the friendship just cooled off because we stopped taking Robert everywhere and his parents made no effort to take Isaac anywhere. So anyway, he goes to school with this lad Reuben. It came to pass that Reuben was hitting Isaac every time Isaac was at his house, asserting his dominance, and we had told Isaac, anybody hits you, flatten them. We've told him that. And he lashed back at Reuben. Big hoo-ha. He ended up having to be taken home. And we got out of Isaac what had happened. And Darren, who was at really good terms with his dad, said, look, the reason Isaac reacted like he did is because this has been going on for some time. We didn't know. Reuben has been pushing and slapping and, hitting Isaac. And we've told Isaac if that happens, he hits the person back. We didn't know it was Reuben. His dad denied that had ever happened, which is bullshit. That never happens. We know it's happened because we know that the mother has had to bring them both into... the way a kid wouldn't know. I said, what did his mum do when this happened before? Well, she made us both come into the room and she made us sit down and she made us apologise to each other and she made us make friends. And obviously that's exactly what a mum would do. We knew by how Isaac was talking that he was being honest. Reuben's mum had sort of alluded to the fact that they kept falling out, but we thought they were just bickering. We didn't realise this was going on. Anyway, the dad took mortal offence that Darren suggested this was going on and hasn't spoken to him since. The reason Robert started going to Scouts, Robert's the first lad, is because... this is a long story, guys, and I need to tell you to get your advice. Robert started going because he'd no friends at school, and Isaac was his friend, so he wanted to be in anything Isaac was in. So he started going to Scouts. Same situation with Reuben. They started different schools. Within the first week, 2 weeks, Reuben and Robert were both being badly bullied at school. It's now come to our attention. The reason this is happening is because they both have really bad attitude problems, and they're at schools where other kids don't tolerate it. And if you have an attitude problem, you're going to be very swiftly put in your place, which is what's happened to both of them. I didn't know that at the time. So because then Ruben and Isaac were at different schools, in order to keep some sort of link between them, their parents, Ruben's parents, started Ruben at Isaac's scout group. Now, to bring into like an idea of what I mean here, this scout group was 15 miles away from where we live. The reason I started Isaac in it is because I wanted him to get to know other children outside of this area. Because there were just so many little shits at the time. I wanted him to sort of like make new friends outside of like, it's a very insular area. And I wanted him to spread his wings and get to know new kids. And what's happened is 2 of the worst behaved kids from this area have followed him to this scout troop 15 miles away, and they are now both making trouble at scouts. So Isaac is patrol leader. There are 4 other boys in his patrol. 2 of these are Ruben and Robert. Another one is Miho, who's every bit as bad as they are, and another wee lad that doesn't behave either, but I don't know him. So he came out on Friday night. That's the background. He came out on Friday night really fed up. He'd come last in the cooking competition because they all spent the whole night arsing about, wouldn't do as he said. When he said, look, can you help me? Didn't help him. They left him to do everything on his own. Isaac was cooking. Robert was meant to do presentation. And when Isaac said, Robert, you said you would do this. What? And then he just walked off. Apparently they're told off all the time. They behave for 30 seconds and then they're back to it. I've seen how they behave. It's feral. They won't behave. They're being constantly told off. Now, it makes no sense to me that the scouts, in their wisdom, have put all of these lads in the one troop. They won't listen to Isaac because they know him, and because there is history to a degree. He's still friends with them. There's no like bad blood or anything. I think there should be, personally, but there isn't. Because if it were me, I would have something to say about a friend not supporting me, not doing as I ask, just being a little shit. The reason I got really cross is because they were cooking and Isaac had boiling water. And they started doing this thing where he said he got their thumbs like hooks and they were digging them into under each other's ribs like this. One of them, I think it was Ruben, did it to Isaac while he was working with boiling water. They don't seem to listen to being told off by anyone. Darren's really angry because he feels the leader should be taking more of control over it. I'm a bit, while I agree with him, I volunteer here now and again, and these leaders aren't paid. They give up their time freely. Some of the kids are so naughty, it's I don't know how they have the patience. They do tell these kids off, but then the kids start off with the same thing again. There's a waiting list to get into Scouts. My approach as a leader would be, I've told you, I've give you a warning, I've told you again, I've told you again, I'm going to speak to your parents. If this behaviour continues, you're going to be asked to leave because there's plenty of other kids that want to be here. If you don't want to be here, fine. If you do want to be here, you follow the rules and you behave. Now, for some reason, that is too stern, that is too strict, that's not something they will do. So, the previous week he was watching the ice hockey and they were all stood up on the train and there was these 4 old ladies and there was a spare seat. And they says, oh, there's a seat here if one of you young men want to sit down. They all stared at these old women like they were, like, dirt. Isaac went and sat down. They all proceeded to take the piss out of him for the entire rest of the journey because he went and sat down beside 3 old ladies. That's the mentality of these lads. I don't like them. I'm not going to pull any punches. I don't like their behaviour. I have given both of them so many chances personally. They've both followed Isaac to this thing that I had him join to get him away from kids like this, with absolutely no shame whatsoever. One that could never get a lift, could never give us a lift, was never available to give a lift, now all of a sudden can get there every week. The other one, parents will not accept that he has been hitting and bullying Isaac for like a year. He has apologised for it since, but his parents still won't accept that's what was happening, even though their son has apologised for doing it. So basically, Isaac wants to leave the patrol. He doesn't want to leave Scouts, but he doesn't want to be with these lads anymore. If he moves patrol, which I think is a good idea, I do think he needs to move patrol, he's probably going to lose his troop leader, because you can't take leader off on other kids, not fair. So, like, he's worked really hard and been there this long, and he's going to have to lose his, I suppose, status because of these kids being little shits. They won't listen to him. They won't respect him. They constantly misbehave. It's almost like they pick on him because he wants to do what he's told to do and he wants to behave. It's like he's pathetic. And it's like, well, why the hell are you here? Just to piss about for 2 hours? So we discussed it. Darren wanted to go in and say, look, what the fuck? And I've basically talked him out of it. I've said, look, if you go in and start criticising how the leaders are dealing with things, it's, you know, they are given their own time freely. I said, I've been there, I've seen the kids' behaviour, I've seen the leaders tell them off, I know how hard it is. And they don't, for some reason, Kelly, as in my mate Kelly from Nottingham, I know you were a leader of Brownies for years. You can maybe sort of say, give me advice along the line of, you know, they don't like to treat it like school, super strict. Our approach would be you behave or you leave, but that seems to be too harsh of a, that's just not how things seem to be done now. We're from a different generation. Obviously, Kelly, I'm considerably older than you. I'm from a similar generation. I'm absolutely guaranteed if Alan, if you're watching this, you would be from the same viewpoint as me and Darren. You behave or you leave. That's not how I think kids seem to be treated nowadays. I think it should be, but it's not. So Isaac has decided what he wants to do is he's going to go in next. I never even heard you come in. I'm telling the palaver about Scouts. What he has I never heard Darren come in then. He has decided what he wants to do is he's going to go in on Friday a little bit early. He's going to speak to the leaders and he's going to ask them to move patrol. I'm a bit pissed off that it may mean he loses his thing. There are going to be questions asked as to why he's moved. I don't particularly want these lads having the satisfaction of knowing that's why. What should happen, now these lads are the worst behaved in the trip. There isn't really any issues with any other guys other than them. Why not put one of them in each different trip? Why not spread them out so they've got no one else to misbehave with? It seems they've stuck them all in one little corner and then stuck Isaac with them, which is unfair. So he's going to ask if he can move patrols. We're hoping that I expect them to try and talk him round and say, look, we'll have a talk to them. We'll say to them, you need to start doing as your patrol leader tells you. If that happens, it's just going to make it worse for Isaac, because they're going, oh, you went and you told him, you know. So I think for his enjoyment of Scouts, he needs to move to a different patrol. But I just don't know how that's going to, you know, what's going to happen when he goes in and he has a word. The next step is obviously Darren going to send in the reinforcements. If things don't considerably improve, then Darren's going to have to go in and I'm not good at this sort of thing because I'm like a switch. I can be very laid back and polite and nice and probably not stern enough. But then if the switch is flicked, I go too far. I would probably use the little B's word, little, you know what I mean? I would say these little fuckers coming in here, and that's what would happen. And obviously that's not very professional. It takes quite a bit to push me to that, but because these two lads have been pushing us for quite a long time now, outside of Scouts, you know, it wouldn't take a lot. If someone says to me, oh, well, you know, it's just young boys blowing off steam, you have to allow it, you know, then I'm liable to say no. But, yeah, the reason I'm telling you is, what do you think? Alan, I know what you think. You'll be saying, same as I'm saying, little fuckers. But Kelly, having had that you have had experience in this, what do you... I know you were over girls, so I'm going to be sexist. It probably won't have been as bad. Because the behaviour here, always when it's bad, tends to be young lads. I know they're young. I know they want to, like, let off steam. But if they are disrespecting their friend, who's meant to be their patrol leader, not helping in the task that they're meant to be doing, they're
disrespecting the organisation.
even to the point when they came last, the leader went round and said, well done, Isaac. And basically, acknowledged that he'd done the whole thing on his own. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that shouldn't be allowed to happen. They should be made behave, and if they don't want to behave, they should their parents should be spoken to, and if they still don't want to behave, they should leave. That's both of our viewpoint on it. But what do you think? So obviously Isaac hasn't been in yet. He hasn't been in. By the time this goes up, he will have. So I'll see if I'm going to see if I can get this up early to see if I can get some advice from you guys before Friday night. So this will go up beginning of the week. Try and let me know what you think before Friday.
We're badgering now.
The dogs are away for a walk.
I'm gonna go sniff some badgers.
Right. So, yeah, let me know what you think. That's 17 minutes. That's way too long. Right, I've spoken for way too long on that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a timestamp before I start so that you can skip past if you've no interest in giving me advice. It maybe sounds really stupid, but it's really annoying me because this is, we pay 80 quid a year for Isaac to be in it. There's a trip coming up to Lancashire next year, which is a week long, and it's £200. And, we don't have a lot of money to be throwing about. And for me to pay this, and I know that Ruben will be going on this trip, and Miho, well, Robert probably won't because his mother won't want to pay for it. But Ruben's the main bone of contention. He's the main ringleader of the bad behaviour. Robert's just not a very pleasant child, but Ruben is feral. I don't know if he's got something wrong with him. His older brother has got learning needs. I don't know if there's perhaps something about ADHD going on. I don't know, but he's a naughty child. What do you think, guys? Because it's been really irritating me. It's been going over in my head all night in bed. What do we do? Because initially Darren was going to go in and say, look, this has been going on for months. Isaac's been trying to cope with it. It's not working. Something needs to happen. These kids need to be put in there. He was basically going to go, I says, you can't do that. That's criticising how the scout leaders are dealing with things. You can't go from a position of criticising. He says, well, why not? Because they're not doing their job. They're not making them follow the rules. It's like, no, you have to... Nowadays, you have to softly around people. You have to be very careful. So Isaac's just going to go in and ask to move patrols to another patrol and give the problem to someone else. Yes, they'll still have the issues when they're like messing about and stuff, but when they're in their patrols doing a task, I just don't think someone that used to be, well, is still their friend should, and it staggers me as to why they're friends. I said, Isaac, the lad doesn't respect you. He spent a year hitting you because he knew he would get away with it. He lied to his parents about what happened. He stood taking the piss out of you because you're sitting beside old ladies. He won't back you up. He won't behave. He won't support you. Why is he your friend? And I can't get my head around why they're friends. It's like, well, because he's funny sometimes. I think Isaac's just the type of kid that doesn't like to fall out with people, doesn't like to say, look, enough. You get that with age, I think. But right now, I just wish Ruben and Robert would fucking disappear, because Robert's just, even when I say Robert, it irritates me, and that sounds horrible. But we went through so much with him for so long, and Ruben is just the naughtiest of children. The time I supervised when they were outside, he was running about shouting about rape as a joke at the top of his voice. And I told him I probably shouldn't have been telling him off because I'm only there as a helper. But I did. And one of the other leaders, who also heard it and said nothing, said to me, oh, I thought that was what he said, but I wasn't sure. I says, yeah. Well, maybe he doesn't know what it means. I says, the same boy knows exactly what it means. No interest in telling him off. When we took them to Lisburn, he was the boy that we had to get Isaac to do the mock 11 plus because she wanted Ruben to do it, but Ruben wouldn't do it on his own, so I paid for Isaac to do it, and he passed it. Ruben didn't. Isaac passed his 11 plus, Ruben didn't. But Ruben apparently is now on the waiting list for St. Louis. If he gets in, I'll fucking lose my shit. He started at the other school and his parents were adamant, it was really good school. Started being bullied within 2 weeks. Now he's on the waiting list for Isaac's school. And I just pray to God he doesn't get in, because it's like he follows Isaac about like a bad smell. And he brings him down, and it's no good for him. But Isaac won't stay away from him. You know what I mean? Isaac won't distance himself. Isaac won't put him in his place when he's stepping out of line. Forgot what I was saying. But yeah, parenting, hey? Honestly. So let me know what you think, guys. So now I am going to watch season 1 of Traitors. I've been watching it the second season. It's 1 episode every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then nothing till Wednesday again. I'm really enjoying it. I think I told you about it before. But there's a first season of it on BBC iPlayer that I haven't seen. I started watching it last night. I watched about 3 episodes, so I'm going to watch that this afternoon. We were thinking about going to the cinema, but we decided against. There's one on with Anthony Hopkins I think it's called One Life. It's about this guy that rescued a load of kids during Second World War. He was on Pride of Britain Awards, and all these people's families that are in existence now because this man got these kids out of horrible situation. That's on. And there's one called The Beekeeper with Jason Statham that a lot of people are saying just like dumb action fun. The way people are talking about it is reminding me a bit of Upgrade that came out a few years ago, in that it's an action but it's quite bloody, so a lot of horror fans are enjoying it. So I'm not sure. It would mean another trip into town. So Darren's been in twice already, so he's already done like 50 miles today. So trying to keep the petrol consumption down. My dad's birthday's tomorrow. I've just bought him a couple of books and a pen. I'll just put some cash in a card because I literally have no idea. My mum's bought him a tablet, which Amazon delivered to our next door neighbour's garage yesterday. We were in all day and I got a picture showing, all our garages are identical. I got a picture showing the parcel in the garage with the garage door open, and Darren went and looked and he says there's nothing there. So I'm like, oh shit, someone's nicked it. But then we saw this little orange thing in the corner of the photograph, and it's like, well, there's nothing orange there. Bet they've put it in next door's garage. They had, which they've done before. And as a matter of fact, on the little section of Amazon where you can put delivery instructions, I have put, please make sure you deliver this to the correct address or correct garage, or please make sure if delivering this to garage, you put it in the correct garage. It is attached, block capitals, attached to the house number 7. Do not put it in number 9's garage, as was done previously. They put it in number 9's garage again. It's like, that garage isn't even attached to our house. It's like, it's where Troll used to live, the woman I had all the issues with. It's like, there's a massive big long driveway and then a garage at the end of it attached to next door's house. Our garage is just attached to our house to the left. It's, ugh. Right, I've waffled the length of a vlog in one day. Honestly. Right, I'm going to go, guys. I shall catch up. I'm going to watch some Traitors. I'm going to go put the heating on because I'm fucking freezing. That's the thing I could do with buying some coal, put a fire on. I shall speak to you guys later. Hello, it is Sunday. I'm closing off the video for the week. I did a massive big long run yesterday. I don't know if I'll keep it in or not because it was nearly half an hour in the end. This has got a exclamation mark and it said that we need to add 1 litre of oil. Oh, I am not paying for oil.
No, we're not, certainly not.
But at the same time, what are we supposed to do? We can't keep driving it.
Well, we're driving it now because we haven't got any oil. We'll have to wait till they get it back and I'll ring them up. Not what else we can do.
It's the hire car.
A lot of bollocks it really is with this bloody car.
Our car's not going to be ready for however long it is. I don't know what type of oil to get. I don't know where to put it in it.
Well, we aren't paying for it, they are.
Well, how are they supposed to pay for it? They're in Mollusk.
Yeah, but I can't believe they've given us a car that hasn't had the oil topped up.
Once upon a time I knew where everything went in a car when I used to have
old
crappy cars.
It's just the fact they haven't filled up before they give a car out, which they're going to get it in neck for doing that.
Did you see that come on before, or is that a new thing?
Something flashed on last night when I was coming
Right, so
home.
I did do it.
I didn't grab what it was from the typical thing with that dashboard.
Yeah, it's Sunday. It's my dad's birthday today. He is 69 today. It's the last year of his 60s.
We'll round it up to 70 for him.
No, I won't. Because then they'll say, well, why do you not get me a better present if I'm 70?
I said we did do. It's the dementia that's kicked in.
probably find that quite funny. Where's that round thing? There it is.
It's not again on the doorstep.
It is not.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, for goodness sake. That's awful. But the fact it's sat there, surely that means that they let it in there. Because why would it sit there if it never got...
Oh, it's skin and bone.
What it is there's this couple of families that live on that row.
Very tightly related.
They are cousins. I think the two guys are brothers.
Yeah.
And the kids are cousins.
Kissing cousins.
And you know the way every area has kids and people that are you don't want to get on the wrong side of, you stay away from? Well, that is the kind of people. So one of them has got is it a Labrador? A black Labrador? Really
nice
lovely dog, really soft. Darren's padded it quite a few times, but it's always out and about, no leads, wandering about, which is an issue in itself, but that's not the main issue.
Well, you got, 10 yards one way from their house is a 60 zone,
Yeah,
and 50 yards the other way is a 60 zone.
So anyway, every time we pass the house, every time Darren's out walking the dogs, every time Darren's at the shop, anywhere, it doesn't matter where we are, that dog is sat on the front doorstep shivering. Darren says it's lost a lot of weight recently, it's skin and bone. Darren has actually reported it. Nothing's obviously happened. He said that we're concerned that the dog's never sheltered, it's always outside.
Well, I even said I'd nearly run it over twice.
Alright, well,
And it's skin and bone when I pulled over to see the dog, so I followed it home and gave him the whole story.
But the dog's not well. Well, I don't know, the dog has lost weight, you said, from what it
All
was.
his ribs are showing, his hips are bony, and you can feel it smile. And it's a Labrador, it should be fine.
Yeah, Labrador should be a nice chunky dog. So there's that, and then opposite them there's another family that have a Doberman.
You can put that picture in.
That I will actually use some CCTV in. And the Doberman is always off lead with the kids. The kids are a bit not right. I think that's a bit of inbreeding as well. They're always round our cul-de-sac. I've no idea why, because they're not from our little area. But Darren was out yesterday with the dogs, walking them. Obviously two little dogs, both on leads, and the Doberman was running at them. Now, if that Doberman got hold of either of our dogs, game over. And it might be that the Doberman is a nice dog, it's soft. Obviously, we're not just making an assumption. But when if you're a dog person, if you know dogs, if a dog is on a lead and it feels threatened, Molly and Dobby are not vicious dogs, they're barky dogs, fair enough.
Protective.
But if a dog runs at them that's off the lead, that's massive, they could feel frightened and they could nip and snap, and that could in turn make the other dog turn. And obviously there's no argument between something the size of a Chihuahua and a Yorkie and
Dobby's
a Doberman.
as big as its muzzle.
Yeah,
She's in its mouth.
So Darren just got in the gate yesterday before. I'll put the CCTV footage in so you can see how close it was and how big the dog is. It's really frustrating, and it's always the same kind of families. They just don't care about people, they don't care about laws, they don't care about animals, they don't look after what their kids are doing and up to. It's just so frustrating. I feel like every time I put this camera on I'm moaning about something, but it's so frustrating I can't even tell you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But we're really concerned about that black dog. It's like it's been got for the kids as a present, they've got bored of it, and now, you know what I mean, that's how it comes across, because that dog wasn't skinny initially. It is now. Let's say it has been. I think we'll have to be sending another message to...
I'll do it when I get to your dad's.
It's just still the same situation. It's losing weight every time Darren sees it. It's thinner, and obviously nothing's happened.
And it's so ears down.
It looks miserable.
Yeah.
And it's always shivering. Well, it's freezing. It's really cold. It's supposed to be snow expected in the next couple of days. It was snowing this morning. Didn't lie, but it was snowing, just to tell you it's really cold. Isaac went to his friend Stephen's house yesterday for the first time. Had a really nice day. The mum said, well, the two of them didn't come out of the room all day, which is just the way I like it. They were playing. Stephen's quite into retro games, like old games, which is pretty cool. So Isaac's sort of doing some of those now. They played, and he likes a similar type of music. He likes punk, like he likes Green Day, and
There's a ton of really old like toys as well, like the boxing robots.
you know that really old like boxing robots game where you press the buttons and the thing, stuff like like old. He's got. The reason I think for this is Stephen's the youngest of the family. He's got 5 siblings. I said to his mum, he must be knackered. His oldest brother, I think, is in his 30s. She sent me a list of the kids' ages, and they're like 3 of them's in their 20s. They're all grown up, apart from the daughter. I think is about 16, 15. Well, I knew it was somewhere around there. And then Stephen is 13. He's the youngest in the family. So I think that's why he likes, is because his brothers are that much older. He loves Resident Evil, which is awesome because it's my favourite game franchise, as everybody probably knows. So yeah, that'll be cool. I think he was in a different class to Isaac in first year. There's a shock along the side of this, and I keep going in it. But I think he was being, again, Isaac, and I don't mean to put it like this, Isaac and kids that are bullied and picked on, he seems to gravitate to them for some reason. He was moved classes because the class he was in, the kids were picking on him. I'm hoping that it's not the same situation as Robert and that he's a nice wee lad. I've no reason to think he isn't a nice wee lad, but he was being bullied. Well, I don't know that he was being bullied. People kept laughing at him, is what Isaac said. What?
You know the mum, right? You know how Stephen's mum?
Yeah.
You know she's got grey hair and she's quite old.
Yeah.
Guess who age she is?
She's 50 something.
She's 51.
Yeah, I knew that.
Practically the same age as Dad.
Yeah. I knew she was, because there's a picture on her Facebook with her 50th birthday, so I knew. Obviously she's got a kid of 30 something. She must have had that kid really young. 30 something fit, yeah. So anyway, the thing is, last night, I texted in politeness, obviously, to say thanks a lot for having him over. He's had a lovely day. The polite, that sort of thing you do. Darren will tell you it probably went on for 2 hours. Ping, 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 ping. I got the woman's entire life story, her medical history, everything about everything that's wrong with her, the fact she's applying for PIP, she got declined, and I mean so much that it was like, whoa,
It was like that geese with a big red book turned up.
it was like so much all at once. And it's like, Jesus Christ, please don't be another weird family. It's like, is there no one normal nowadays? There's nothing wrong with talking to people about, that thing's going to kill someone one of these days.
Falsely aware.
There's no reflection on the wee lad, obviously, but I mean, I had this, I had that, I've had this operation, I've applied for this, and it's like it went on and on and on and on and on.
The entire family's really nice.
Well, that's good. Hopefully that's the case, Isaac, but that was just weird. At one stage, because she was talking about PIP, and my mum, now, this is ridiculous, my mum, as you all well know, has got MS. She has done for 45 years. At the stage now we're at, she can't walk, she has to be hoisted, she can't take herself to the bathroom, she can't sit up properly, she's struggled talking. You know how ill my mum is. When the form came to be filled in for PIP, is a benefit that people get that are disabled and that can't work. So she's not been able to work her whole life since she was in her 20s, and this form came through because they were changing from what used to be called disability living allowance to PIP. So I filled it all out for her, sent it back. They still saw fit to come out and give her a medical assessment. My mum can do nothing for herself. So anyway, I said to this woman, because I said to her, what am I supposed to say when someone told me? She told me that she'd had a heart attack, that she'd had one of those devices fitted that restarts your heart, and it had gone off a couple of times. She told me that Stephen, the little boy, had anxiety issues and problems. She told me that he had heart disease and he had to have open heart surgery. And this is all awful. And I said, Storm, what am I supposed to say? I can't keep saying, oh, that's awful, because she kept telling me more stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what to say to this. And then she started talking about, I'm going to go and see politicians because I got declined for PIP and blah, blah, blah. And so I said, oh, I think with PIP, unless you're completely incapacitated, they decline most people, so you do have to appeal. And I explained that what was wrong with my mum, her physical health, and I said they still saw fit to come out and see her, and obviously once they saw her, they couldn't say she was fit for work. Obviously, I said, but there are a lot of people, there's cancer patients that are dying that are declining. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm not getting into talking about PIP because it's frustrating. But, so I said to her, definitely appeal, definitely push it through. She can't work because she's this heart thing. She's been told she's not allowed to drive, all this sort of stuff. So it's a serious situation. It's not, wee buns or anything. So I told her, she told me all this history about herself and about her son, and I told her about my mum and told her to keep pushing it. The thing that struck me as being really weird, at no stage of the conversation, as it was going back and forth, did she show any interest in anything I'd said. She didn't comment on anything that I'd said about my mum. She didn't ask anything about Isaac. It was just all me. The whole conversation was, this is wrong with me, that's wrong with me, this is wrong with my son's got anxiety, my son needs this.
She might be doing that to say what he can do and can't do.
Isaac, it was 80% about her and a little bit about him. But it's a lot of information to give to someone you've never met that has just sent a text to say thank you for having Isaac over. No,
you didn't know, you don't know.
I've never met the woman. And it just, I don't know, you wonder why I keep this channel small. This is why, because I wouldn't be saying this if I thought loads of people were watching it. But you know what I mean? It's like, would you think that was odd? Or am I just... It's like, I feel like I'm always saying, why are people so weird? To the point that I'm beginning to think, is it me that's weird? Is that normal? Would you find that normal for someone to... And like I say, this went on for about 2 hours. And if it was a back and forth conversation and I tried to lighten the mood in different places and I put wee laughy faces in, but there was no pick up of the mood and there was no talk about anything positive or...
There was none of my hilarious anecdotes thrown in, was there?
I don't know. Is it me? Or would you be a bit... Now, I would be very happy to be proved completely wrong and for her to be a lovely woman and just an oversharer, because a lot of people think I'm an oversharer because maybe I do. I say things that a lot of other people wouldn't. It's like Suze is the same as me. She just, you get how it is. This is what it's like having a baby. This is what happened. This is what breastfeeding's like. Whereas some people want to present everything's perfect.
Go to Primark this afternoon, and if any staff says, oh, hello, how are you? I'm adling and going, yeah, I'm all right. I had a massive bowel movement last night. I'm not going to do that.
So maybe it's just, some people think, what I'm trying to say is, some people think I overshare because I'm telling you stuff like this. If Isaac's having issues with people, I'll tell you because I like the advice. Let's go right. So like I say, some people think I overshare, so maybe it's just like that. Maybe that's just her. Maybe I'm being one of the really pole-faced people that think I overshare about her. You know what I mean? Because she's not the same as me. It's just the fact that there was no interest in the other person and there was no talk about anything positive, and everything was like, ooh. It's like, Jesus wept, is it? Who's that fucker? In that part, look. Could this just be more awkward? I'm gonna have to go in here temporarily until that passes.
That's what she said. Don't know if that makes sense.
It's like dodgems in this car park. Somebody's in my space. That's what's frustrating. Then again, it could be. No, he doesn't drive that type of car. I wonder who it is. No, can't see somebody like him picking a car like that. So I'm up the other end of the car park that Cameron's staff used to park in. Anyway, what was I saying? I've lost my train of thought. Let me know what you think. Is that weird? Or is it just me being a grumpy arsehole? I don't know. Let me know. Obviously, like I say, this doesn't reflect on the wee lad. It's not his fault, but I'm not surprised he's got anxiety issues if that's what his mum's talking like all the time. He's probably thinking, is my mum going to die? You know what I mean? If it's constantly, oh, this is wrong, that's wrong, my heart, my...
Must take ages for it to bring a Chinese in.
Anyway, let me know what you think. We're now at my dad's. It's his birthday, like I said, so... it'll be dark when we come out, so I won't be finishing off the vlog. So thank you for watching and listening to my inane complaining. Let me know what you think, guys. I have to get this up early because I needed that advice before Friday. Oh, who's that? There's who it is. Is that a carer? In a Mercedes? It is.
Yeah, well, it's probably that one the word driver has finally been taken off road after it crashed our car. Back wind was sticking out.
It's one of the carers because she's just at my mum's now. It'll be the, well, she's using the key safe, that's how I know it's a carer. But she'll probably be there for a dinner call, but this is only what she's by herself. So that's going to be
Maybe your mum's got your dad a stripper.
Right, I'm going. Thank you for listening, and I shall speak to you. I shall speak next week. Overnight from Kit and Caboodle.